Right. And, the conversation around the Chinese economy, right? There's short-term issues, there are structural issues, and really, in what way does China be able to navigate both? And really what's taking place, and this is really the topic of the big take today, is rewriting of China's economic, rewiring really of the economy has made things like EV, solar, and chips some of the new pillars of growth as the nation navigates this property slump. Let's bring in our energy reporter, Dan Murtaugh, of course, who is behind, of course, the big take today. He's in Beijing for us. And, Dan, the question there is you have high-quality growth. What is high-quality growth, I guess, as a definition? And why is President Xi Jinping pushing so hard for high-quality growth?
Well, high-quality growth can mean a number of things. But here in China, it's sort of come to, in reality, mean, biopharmaceuticals, advanced manufacturing, chips, communications, and the three new, solar, EVs, and batteries. And Xi Jinping first started pushing for this idea of high-quality growth back in 2017. And he saw it as sort of the next step in China's economic evolution as it keeps moving up the value chain. And he wanted to push away from what has pushed growth over the past decade, which is the property sector, which is a little bit unsustainable, it's polluting, into these more high-end sectors that pay higher, that can be globally competitive with companies across the world.
And as we see, of course, these old growth pillars, as you say, the property sector, even consumption is weakening as well, continue to spiral. How are these new sectors, these new three, able to fill the gap?
Well, they're trying right now, and it's a big gap to fill. According to Bloomberg Economics, property and all of its connected industries used to, come up with about a quarter of China's total GDP. That's, getting downgraded right now. It's on track to be down to about 16% of the total GDP by 2026. That's a huge gap to fill. But Bloomberg Economics thinks that between green technologies, your solar, your EVs, and your batteries, and between some of these more advanced manufacturing sectors, you can get that 8% gap. And so China's economy can come out of this in one piece. But it's going to take a lot of nimble work by policymakers and by a lot of these companies that are struggling right now, especially in the EV and solar sector. So it's looking like it's possible, but things are still a little bit questionable.
Yeah, and Dan, in the meantime, we focus in on maybe the core of the economic issue, which is really consumer confidence. And I have to ask you then, amidst this transition, and I guess it depends where you work, how does a typical Chinese worker feel about this evolution or transition in the economy as a whole?
Yeah, this is one of the things we found interesting when we took our reporting trip to Suzhou. I was with this great reporter, Yujing Liu, and we went to these, factories. We saw GCL, an amazing company that makes, low energy polysilicon for the solar sector, and they're paying their employees well. People who are on the campus were, working hard. They seem pretty happy with their jobs. But we went outside of the factory and went around the city a little bit, and things are a little bit tougher. If we talk to furniture store owners and just people who are working for travel companies and things like that. And everybody else was seeing a little bit more of the struggling side of the Chinese economy. I think that, if you're working in one of these great sectors, things are good right now, but there's been a little bit less of a ripple effect than the property sector had.